Hi, I'm in Goa. I came here for a conference and I had a little author-reader interaction, which was really a lot of fun. What I'm doing is every city that I go to, I post it on the social media and so on, and I love meeting people. You know, it's not just that you would love to meet me, I would also love to meet you. You know, getting to hear from so many different people from such different walks of life. And today, one of the biggest things that came up, which I didn't have the time to address, was how do you deal with negativity? How do you deal with negative people? And I tell you, negativity and negative people is such an energy drainer. You know, I'll tell you my formula, what I do, because the one good thing about meeting so many people is that your horizon expands, your soul grows, you know, and you get such different perspectives. But also, what if out of those 100 you meet like two really negative people? They could steal out all the joy from the 98 others you got. You know how it is, you post this lovely thing on Facebook and 300 people say that this is great, and one person says, you know, you suck and blah blah and so on, and your whole attention is on that one comment. So negativity has that impact. It somehow overrides all the happiness and all the positivity and all the joy and locks our attention there. So I'll give you ideas on how I deal with it. Maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't, but like I said, it's just a different perspective. So see, whenever somebody throws this blotch of negativity on me, I ask questions. See, questions will destroy negativity, if it really is negativity, faster than anything else. So to give you an example, this is long ago, I was at a workshop and this lady walks up to me and she says, oh, you know, you shouldn't crack jokes that hurt people. And I said, okay, you know, see, I do crack jokes. I have this really weird sense of humor, but it has never been to hurt people, you know, and if I have so, then I want to apologize because that was not the intention. So she said, oh, you shouldn't crack jokes to hurt people. So I said, really, which joke was that? So she said, I don't remember. Hey, excuse me. You remember to walk up to me to tell me I shouldn't crack jokes that hurt people, but you can't remember what I said? You see, you ask a question and you start to dissolve that negativity. So I said, no, what you've told me is a very high, you know, moral thing for me, because I have come here as a speaker and the last thing that I want to do is hurt somebody who goes back feeling low about himself. So please, I beg of you, tell me, you know, what did I say? She says, maybe it was not hurtful, but maybe you should keep a check on your sense of humor. Now look, from you hurt people to keep a check. Then I said, really, but can you tell me, can you help me out with this? So she said, no, your sense of humor is fine, but not many people understand it. Oh my God, so from hurtful to keep a check to people don't understand your sense of humor. And I said, then I got it. In 3 questions, I got it. This is just a, you know, loose comment. And you know, when you ask questions to people who throw negativity at you, they will start looking for a door out. In fact, that woman got so uncomfortable that she was looking, you know, how can she get away from there? I chased and said, boss, tell me what I said, you know, and she said, no, you know, blah, 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 and ran out. So don't attack negativity. Don't say, I don't say things like that. Don't get defensive. Ask questions. So somebody tells you that, you know, your dressing sense is too weird, or, you know, you should not dress like this. So my next question is, what should I dress like? What would you like me to wear? And the person said, no, I don't want you to wear something specific, but you shouldn't dress like this. I mean, then what do you think would be ideal for me to dress as? No, whatever you wish, but not like this. I mean, what are you talking? So the minute you start asking questions, you will start dismantling that negativity, that the person will be able to see the stupidity of his own nonsense and run out of there. Try it, ask questions. I can give you 100 examples of maybe 100 people who have run away, you know, promising never to throw crap at me again. So try it, you know, question negativity. And if it does not make sense, that person himself will walk out. The second part that I say is that if somebody is throwing negativity at you, ask questions, but if he gives a reasonable answer, that's something for you to consider. So not always somebody could be wrong. Like I'll tell you, I was at this workshop and this guy wrote in the feedback, oh, she was so full of herself. Okay, and I said, really? So I caught him and said, what do you mean I was full of myself? I want to know, I want to improve. He said, you were just talking about yourself from start to end. It was all about you. And I said, yes, that is correct. So I said, okay. So I heard him out. But look, he wrote a nasty comment. She's so full of herself. But there was some element of truth in it that I spoke only about me in the entire workshop. And now, as much as that was relevant, as much as I said that with all humility, maybe he didn't get it. Maybe he missed the first part where I said, look, I don't know anybody else's life. I don't know whose life to talk about. I don't think I'm an authority to talk about Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or Lata Mangeshkar or Sonu Nigam or, whoever it is. They are the right terminals to talk about their lives. There are so many motivational speakers who will say, oh, Steve Jobs did this, 10 secrets of Dhoni and so on. I don't know those people. I know my life best. I know what worked for me. Maybe, maybe not, it will work for you. It's just a perspective. So I took that feedback, that negative comment, I took that and I said, okay. Now in my next workshop, I'm extremely explicit in expressing that in all humility, I'll tell you my story. Maybe it may sound like, oh, she's full of herself, but I don't know anybody else's story. If I were to live your life, probably I'll tell you your story. Please don't take this as, I would say preachery, but just as an example. And I have learned that all of our lives are the same. So I learned something. I grew. If there is reason in the person's talk, in the person's negative comment, that's a stepping stone for you to improve. And I think that's fantastic. So it may appear as negativity, but there is something for me to take back and improve. But the other examples I gave you, they don't add value to me. They don't make me a better person. They don't improve my dressing style or my speaking style. It was pure attack. And you have to see the distinction between both. And I appreciate this guy who said it, because you see, there are a lot of people who may have felt the same way but never brought it to me. So I appreciate people who give me comments and feedback so I can improve. They may appear as negative, but they help me be a better person. So negativity is handled in two ways. Question. If they dissolve and dissipate, those are the people who are best kept at distance. But if they had reason to it, please hold it and run with it to a higher level. You won't find many people in this segment, okay? But when you do, please act on that feedback. It would be awesome. Yeah, so that's my little trick of handling negative people. And my experience, because I deal with so many people, is people are generally positive, especially when you don't meet them very often. They bring their best foot forward. So I say familiarity breeds contempt. Don't get too familiar with people. Even if you have a best friend, don't meet so much that you start getting on the wrong side of the person. Happens. It's a fact. Familiarity breeds contempt. So I like to meet more people less often, which means I had rather meet 10,000 people one time than meet one person 10,000 times, unless that one person is such a fantastic human being that even 10,000 times is less. So by sheer familiarity, you might catch a person in a bad mood, and because you're so familiar, he or she wouldn't mind offloading his mood on you. So he's not a negative person, but you just happen to run into him on his bad day. So learn to distinguish between that. So it could be that your parent or your husband or your boyfriend is not a negative guy, but today he had a hard time and then he told you, hey, just shut up. And you say, oh, now he's become negative. Probably he's not negative, he's just having a bad day. So that's the third distinction you got to make, that this person is great. That's why you love him. That's why you're married to him. And that's why you're still living with your parents. But today is just a bad day. So, well, If you understand these 3 points, then life becomes a little more easier for you, and that's what is needed. Understanding dissolves confusion. Understanding dissolves anger. Understanding dissolves chaos. And when you have more and more clarity about other people and about who you are, I think finding your calling, listening to your heart, being vigilant to your inner voice comes very easy. And of course, you live a much more peaceful and happier life. Try it. Like I said, works for me. Maybe it won't work for you. And maybe something else works for you. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll add it as a point in my next talk that so and so says this formula works. Let's all try it. Yeah, thank you for listening to me.